What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fire Sports Takes podcast. Hot Take Tuesday is back. I haven't done it in a long time, and I feel like we got away from the program a little bit. It was an electric July 4th weekend. The kid got banged up. The fellas got banged up. The fellas had a fantastic time. My parents went out of town. Very opportune time. Good for vibes, bad for work, bad for body. We're all the way back. We're all the way locked in. Hot Take Tuesday is here, and Team USA is officially eliminated from the 2026 World Cup in what was an embarrassing display of soccer on Monday night in Seattle. Christian Pulisic is a pussy. Let's just call it what it is. You should die on that field. Die on it. I don't understand. Captain America this, Captain America that. He can't stay off the IR. He can't stay out of a hospital bed. He goes to the sideline and he's crying into his hands. Unacceptable. He was uninspiring every game after Paraguay. And quite frankly, I think we got a really, really lucky draw. Like at the end of the day, our group was a joke. Turkey, which by the way, since when was it ever called Turkey to begin with? Number one. That's a psyop. But either way, Turkey was supposed to be the belle of the ball in that group. They were supposed to be the comp. They were supposed to be, it's us versus Turkey. They stunk it up. Paraguay obviously had the upset over Germany, but Germany didn't even look that not convicted. It didn't look that convincing in any of their performances up until that game as well. And I guess the Paraguay win was good, but it's just once we have to play a top European side that didn't even start Doku, who by the starting winger for Manchester City, he's like 24 years old. The dude's broken. Didn't start Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne didn't even play a second of this game. Didn't start Romelu Lukaku. And they handled us. It was 3-1 until Lukaku came on and scored the winner at the end. And it was just mistakes on the back end. And that was the problem with this American team throughout the entire build-up of this tournament. Is we're going to have a decent attack. McKinney, Balogun now. We have a striker finally. Christian Pulisic. Serginho Dest looked terrific. The first 5 games of this tournament attacking on the wing. He looked confident in his dribble. He was taking guys on. That just was not the case against Belgium. Same thing with Pulisic. Like there were times in this tournament he was so confident taking guys on the wing. We lost that aspect of our attack, and that's when things fell off a cliff. And then Tim Ream just got absolutely eviscerated. That guy should never step foot on a soccer field at a national level ever again. He was getting bodied. And I forget the dude's name for Belgium, the guy that scored the 2 goals and had the assist. It was just disgraceful. Our goalie doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. The second header that they scored, I feel like he could have came off his line and made a play on the ball. He was clueless. And then I don't even know our goalie's name. That shows how much I give a fuck. U.S. men's national team goalie. But he stinks. Matt Freese. And then the third goal, when the Team USA started that game off like garbage, dog shit, awful. They had like 6 shots in 10 minutes, okay? But then they settled in. They got the lucky free kick goal. Then they had a lapse in judgment right after that. Adrenaline was too high. They answered right away. And then I was like, okay, we look like we're on the same level with this team for the first time all game. And it started the second half that way. It looked like we're on the same level as them. And then it was just a slip up in the back end. And there goes that. And they fucking stuck. And it was embarrassing on a national stage. When Europeans think of U.S. men's soccer, that's what they think of. That's what they're going to think of. And they're right to do it. It was embarrassing. I think 4-1 isn't an accurate depiction of the gap between us and Belgium. But make no mistake about it, there is a gap. And I don't know if it was the pressure of the moment, the magnitude of the moment, the lights being too bright, like my friend Max sent in a meme 10 minutes into the game where it was the Jared Allen, the lights were in fact too bright. But it felt like after we got settled in, after we fell behind 2-1, after we kind of like shook off all the nerves, it looked like we could play with them at least a little bit, especially for the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. And then Tim Reed and Matt Freese had that disgusting blunder. And then that was that. And then even the last goal that Lukaku scored, it was just, what the fuck was that? And I'll tell you what, if Berhalter scores that screamer in the 85th minute, 84th minute, whenever it was, I think we come back and win that game. Because if he scores that goal, and he was the only guy that had any fight, him and Tillemans and Adams, even though Adams had the fuck up at the end, it was just, we had bad touches. Like we couldn't control the ball for too long at times in this game. And that was just not the American team we've seen the first 5 games of that tournament, first 4 games of that tournament. They were able to control the ball. They were able to have good link-up play. Our wingers were attacking the fullbacks on the opposition's team, and they were successfully winning dribbles. They were successfully winning duels, and that just wasn't the case. And then you have this guy Trossard. You could tell he was the best player on the field. He was disgusting. We had no answers for him, whether he was crossing the ball, whether he was attacking down the flank. He was nasty. They controlled the entire game. They could put together link up play. And our CBs, our defense was just awful. They had one free kick. The dude was running wide open. How are we not covering? It's a free kick. Like, mark your man. What are we doing? And it was depressing performance. It's crazy that Team USA was favored in that game, and I fell for it, and I put all my whole account on it because I'm a fucking clown, and I got sucked into the Team USA propaganda. But this team is not a generation away, multiple generations away. I'm talking 2050, we might have a chance of making it to a final or a semifinal. But there's no way you watch yesterday's game and you think that this Team USA is a World Cup or two away from actually competing. There's just no fucking chance. And they looked good. That's like they looked good. They looked competent. And Potts is definitely the right guy for the job. But as my friend Max, who I'm sure we'll have on again during this World Cup, we have to. But as my friend Max, hold on a second. As my friend Max pointed out to me, Potts is probably going to get an offer from a club. He's probably going to get an offer from a club. He's probably going to go back to Europe. He's probably going to leave Team USA in the dust. My point was, you'd rather live in America than Europe, and you're going to get paid $1 million gazillion fucking dollars, and this is your floor. Like, as long as you make it to the round of 16 consistently in these tournaments, as long as you have good Copa America showings, as long as you beat Mexico every other year when you play them, which I feel like Potts is a quality enough coach, and we have the quality of talent where we can do those things, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So, and it's not, or he will be fine. And that's not a lot. It's not like a high stakes, high stress job. It is America, but you're clearly the best coach we've ever had. You're clearly operating at a level above some of these other teams that are on the same caliber of talent. Like, I feel like Paraguay's on the same caliber of talent. Your Mexico's, countries like that. You're at, maybe not Ecuador, but you know what I'm saying? Like, these countries that aren't in the top 10 in FIFA rankings, but are in that like 10 to 25 range, 15 to 25 range. I feel like we're going to have the best manager in that group. So as long as you are more tactically sound than some of those squads, you're going to be able to stay the Team USA manager for the next fucking 2 decades. And you're going to get paid a gazillion fucking dollars, and you're going to live in America in whatever fucking city you want. And we got a bunch of them. Whatever, choose your biome, Potch. Choose your biome. So I think he should stay if he knew it was best for him. But again, club football's calling. You're probably going to answer the phone. But it was a disgraceful performance by Team USA. But let's talk about some of these other games, man. Erling Haaland, he might have. I've never seen anybody as clinical. Like, the composure, the accuracy, the athletic ability, the acrobatics, his positioning is elite. He's a magnet for the ball in the final third. And once he gets any part of his body on it, it's usually going in the back of the fucking net. Like, Harry Kane's a better player because Harry Kane, which I didn't even know because I don't watch Bayern Munich, but he has the ability to drop back into, he's almost a box to box. Not really, but he drops so far back and is able to ping shit across the field and make elite passes that you see out of a CDM. Erling Haaland isn't doing that. But pure clinical ability, pure finishing in the final third, I'm taking Erling Haaland over any player in this World Cup. It's just pure class. He has he averages 2 goals a game for Norway. That's insane. Let me get up the exact stat. Erling Haaland goals for country. I mean, he has 7 goals in 4 World Cup games or whatever. Yeah, okay. It's not 2 goals a game, but 62 international goals in 54 senior appearances for the Norwegian team. That is ridiculous. Astonishing scoring streak of 27 goals in his last 14 competitive matches for Norway. Erling Haaland has scored 27 goals in his last 14 competitions. That's almost 2 goals a contest. He's the most clinical striker, the best finisher in the attacking third in this World Cup. Better than Harry Kane. Better than Kylian Mbappe. And he doesn't have Jude Bellingham, Michael Olise putting this shit on a platter for him. Although Martin Odegaard's been terrific. Although the rest of this Norway side has played at a really high level. And I think defensively, They played at a really high level against Brazil, especially their goalie. But Erling Haaland has been the best player, the most impactful player in this tournament in terms of value to his team, value to the side that he plays on. It's been Erling Haaland. And it's only taken 2 or 3 touches because that's all he needs. If there's an opportunity, he's going to capitalize on it. He's been incredible. 27 goals in his last 14 competitive matches for Norway is simply unbelievable. He's a freak. He's a freak. I don't know how you can't love him. I don't know how you can't root for him. Also, one big takeaway I've had from this World Cup is how is Real Madrid not the most dominant club team in America, in the world? Jude Bellingham looks like the best midfielder in the tournament. Vinicius Jr. looked like the best winger in the tournament. And Kylian Mbappe looks like the best striker in the tournament. Make it make sense in Real Madrid. I got to watch more club soccer. I feel like I leave every single World Cup with that same mindset. Or even if like the Euro's on, I leave it. I'm like, okay, I got to pay more attention. I got to pay more attention. I genuinely don't understand how Real Madrid isn't the great. Like Jude Bellingham. Like every time he puts on that England jersey, every time I watch Jude Bellingham, that's usually the only time I watch him is when it's because I really only tune into the big national tournaments, international tournaments, if you will. He looks incredible. Looks like one of the best players in the world. He is one of the best players in the world. Kylian Mbappe probably is the best player in the world. Same thing with him. World Cup Mbappe is different. How's this guy not have a Ballon d'Or? It's France's tournament to lose, and I'll tell you what, bro. It's sickening. It's sickening how Olise and Mbappe can have such a dominant performance like they did together, the two of them, in the round of 32, and the Ballon d'Or winner's not even one of them. And might be 2-time Ballon d'Or winner after this World Cup run, who scored 3 goals in 27 minutes. And Dembele is just on the other side. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And then Saliba, the best center back in the world. What? Doesn't make any sense, man. France is the best team in this tournament. I think Spain has looked really, really sketchy at times, especially without Nico Williams' threat on the other wing. I think Pedri is unbelievable. Obviously, Lamine Yamal is unbelievable. But they lack a certain creativity in the attacking third that France does not lack, especially without Nico Williams. But defensively, Spain has been unbelievable. I think they haven't allowed a goal in the tournament. Isn't that? Here, let me get that in front of me. I'm pretty sure they have not allowed a goal in the tournament. Spain. Bear with me here. Bear with me. Bear with me, chat. Bear with me. Let me get their game log in front of me. Yep, Spain has not allowed a goal in the FIFA World Cup. Isn't that ridiculous? That is just ridiculous. Everybody wants to talk about the attack. Everybody wants to talk about the attack, rightfully so. Lamine Yamal, Pedri, a healthy Nico Williams if he comes back. Ferran Torres, who I guess people hate on him. Danny Olmo, I think, has been terrific in this tournament. And I said that to my friend, to Max, who is way more in tune with the state of world soccer than I am. And he said, Danny Olmo, I was like, this guy's underrated. He's like, he's not underrated. He just sucks for Barca. That's what he said. But it's all about the attack for Spain. No credit to the defense. They have not allowed a goal in this tournament. They played Portugal, Austria, Uruguay, Cape Verde. By the way, Cape Verde, screamer. Love to see it. Shout out Argentina. They look really good as well. It's Argentina or France. Sorry for the fucking my brain shit the bed here. Or listen, I talked about Colombia. I'm bullish on Colombia. They just need to be better in the attacking third. I think Luis Diaz looks like the second best winger in this competition. Well, I guess I don't know. Messi's really playing the 10. I don't know. Dembele is better than Luis Diaz. Let's pump the brakes. Dembele and Elise. Well, Elise's playing the cam though. He's not playing on the wing. Dembele and Luis Diaz has been incredible. Every time he touches the ball, it's same thing with like, dude, this is just all Liverpool glaze. But Sadio Mane, every time he touched the ball for Senegal, good things happen, and they take him out against Belgium, and they blow a 2-0 lead. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. And I didn't have Sadio Mane to score 2 goals as the last leg of my parlay. I didn't. So quit asking. Oh my gosh, this Argentina game is on in 4 minutes as I'm recording this. Oh my gosh. I need to place this bet ASAP. Nah, fuck it. No, I probably don't. I'll just live bet something. All right, chat. Let's get into Hot Take Tuesday. That's enough World Cup talk. And I have some scorching hot ones. And I'm going to start with one that I think I've regurgitated a little bit. But I just need to get this point across, man. This is the last time I'll talk about him for a little while until we do some Fantasy Friday episodes. But Devon A. Chan is actually unbelievable. I mean, go back and watch this dude's tape. Or just even, no, you don't have to watch it. Just watch his fucking highlights. Because that's all you need to watch when I run it. You don't need to watch his tape, really. You watch his highlights. And tell me that this dude isn't the best running back in the NFL. The burst, the agility, the route running, his hands. his vision, one cut and go, but he's also such an underrated finisher. Some of the touchdowns Devon Achane scored this year, he's putting his fucking head down and he's barreling through fucking people. Because when you can move at the velocity Devon Achane can move at, you can run through motherfucker's face. That's a lot of momentum. That's a lot of steam. You can get an extra 3-4 yards. And some of the finishing, the way he finishes runs, is the most underrated aspect of Devon Achane's game. And I've gone over the statistics with you guys if you've been listening to the last few episodes. If you listen to the top 10 running back episode, 5.7 yards per carry, the most among any running back with over 100 carries on the season. He averages the most yards after contact per attempt out of any running back that had at least 50 carries last season. He was second in total yards after contact. The only guys with more was Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had way, way more volume. And I understand, like, Devon Achane is a top 3 running back. That's a hot take. I understand that. And I understand if you want to put Derrick Henry above him. I'm not that mad at that. I understand if you want to put Jonathan Taylor above him. I'm not that mad at that as well. But Christian McCaffrey, go fuck yourself. Respectfully, I love CMC. He doesn't have the same burst. He does not have the same burst. He had the same 10-plus yard runs that Devon Achane had 20-plus yard runs. Devon Achane also led the NFL in 10-plus yard runs. Okay? Christian McCaffrey is simply not as explosive on the ground as he used to be. He doesn't make guys miss as much as he used to. And he is incredible catching passes out of the backfield. He's still the best receiving back in the NFL because of his skill, his technical ability, his hands, his nuance in his route running, and the way Kyle Shanahan schemes him the fuck open. But make no mistake about it, Devon Achane led the NFL in receiving yards at the running back position 2 years ago. Okay? Like, he is right there with him. And he's a way more explosive runner. I will not tolerate any type of CMC better than Achane at this point in CMC's career. I will not tolerate that. If you want to say Derrick Henry, fine. If you want to say Jonathan Taylor, fine. Although both of those guys don't have the same rushing or receiving upside that Devon Achane has, and they're also not going to hit home runs at the same rate that Devon Achane is as well. Besides maybe Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor didn't have a 100-yard rushing performance after that game in London against Atlanta where he went nuclear. He had like 240 yards. Okay, so I understand if you want to put Derek, if you want to put the King, you want to put JT above Achane, but nobody else. Nobody else. I'm not gonna be that mad at you unless it's CMC. You could argue Saquon, low key. Like, I'd respect the Saquon argument more than the CMC argument because Saquon was just running behind god awful offensive line last year. But again, the RB position is very volatile. I think Achane gives you way more burst right now than Saquon does, and it's not like Devon Achane was running behind one of the greatest offensive lines in the history of the sport either in Miami last year, right? So I would respect the Saquon argument more than the CMC argument, but I'm taking Achane. He's more explosive, way better receiver, and you got to be able to catch passes this year in the modern NFL. You just have to. Now, this is a take that I like a lot. I think Dak Prescott and Justin Herbert are essentially the same player. If you're going to rank these guys in the top 10, both of them need to be in there, but they need to be right behind each other. And whatever order you have them in, it's okay. Like, if you want to go with Herbert, I understand it because he's 3 inches taller and his arm's definitely a little bit stronger than Dak's. But if you want to go with Dak over Herbert, I also completely understand that because Dak has better performances in the playoffs, although it's not great. It's not great. It's just Herbert has been dreadful, awful, disgusting in the playoffs. But context matters. You know, his first playoff game, whatever. His second playoff game was easily the worst against Houston. And his third playoff game, not entirely his fault. Like, he didn't have starting offensive tackles against the Patriots front seven. That was nasty. And the interior of that Chargers offensive line is awful as well. And Milton Williams feasted. And he's a top 5 interior defensive lineman in the NFL. So it's not completely Herbert's fault, not to mention Lad McConkey, QJ trying to get open against Carlton Davis and Christian Gonzalez. Not a recipe for success. The run game non-existent when you don't have tackles and the interior offensive line is garbage. And the Patriots had the best run defense in the NFL last year when Milton Williams was on the field. So I understand the Herbert defenders being like, okay, there's reason, like, it's not all Herbert's fault that they got blown out. Not even blown out, they lost to the Patriots. Like, that's not all Herbert's fault. But he did have some awful interceptions. He did have awful turnover that led to 6 points. It's just inopportune turnovers. And against the Texans a few years ago, that was just a dreadful performance. I mean, he was inaccurate. His timing was off. He was just poor. Poor. CJ Stroud outplayed him. Don't forget that. Nobody forget that. So, but when you break down Dak and Herbert, both have had so much individual success in the regular season. Both have had terrific stat lines in the regular season. Both have had Herbert had a 5,000 plus passing yard season. Dak has had close to 5K passing yards. Dak was second in MVP voting. Herbert's had 30 touchdown, 10 interception seasons. Dak has had 30 touchdown, 10 interception seasons. Both of them have eclipsed 35 passing touchdowns in a season. Like, they have both had elite individual regular seasons. and the playoff success just isn't there. I think they're both elite arm talents. I think they both like Dak made a throw against the Packers in Sunday Night Football last year. He's rolling out to his left, gets hit, and hucks up a fucking prayer. Dot. Justin Herbert, obviously that throw against the Giants where he's literally getting hit 60-yard bomb. Like both of them have elite arm talent, both of them have elite accuracy, and both of them are really quick processors. And I'm really interested to see Justin Herbert's numbers at the end of this year in this Mike McDaniel offense because McDaniel has never had a quarterback that's 6'5" and can throw the ball 80 yards. And Tua Tagovailoa, who you could argue at his peak more accurate of a thrower than Justin Herbert, throws with elite anticipation, but he does not have the arm talent that Justin Herbert has, obviously. Now, Tua did have Tyreek and Waddle. They need some speed in that Los Angeles Chargers offense. I'm buying Lad McConkey stock, by the way. But Mike McDaniel with this group could be disgusting if their offensive line can stay healthy, if Justin Herbert can put it all together. Marion Hampton in fantasy is a guy that I want a big part of, a big part of. And as far as Dak goes, he's put up elite numbers, but the defense just hasn't been that good over the past few years, especially last year. But then the game against the Packers, they fall into an early hole. He has the pick six. He has another early interception, and that's wraps. That's wraps. So it's like there's a whole lot to go into when you break down these guys, you compare these guys. But I think if you're doing a top 10 and these guys aren't right behind each other, it's not a 1A, 1B situation. It's like a 6A, 6B situation, if you will. Because I don't think either of these guys are top 5, but you could put them at 6A, 6 or 7. Huh, didn't even do it. 6A, 6B. That's the way I look at Dak and Herbert right now. And there's definitely a few other names that can slide into that conversation, but I think these two have had very, very similar careers. Herbert only 5 years. Dak's played like 10, not 10 years. It's almost 10 years. Dak's been in the league. That's crazy. But both have had a lot of individual success. I think both are capable of quarterbacking the team to a Super Bowl championship. I think that's clear. That's evident. If Jalen Hurts could do it, and if Sam Darnold could do it, and both of those guys aren't as talented as Dak or Justin Herbert, they just take care of the ball less. They manage the game. They take care of the ball more in the playoffs. They take care of the game more. And both have had better rosters than either of those guys have ever had, obviously. So I think if they can do it, both of these guys can definitely lead your team to a Super Bowl in the right scenario. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the year. Like it's ironic because like Cowboys fans always talk about this is their year. I think I love this roster in Dallas. I do. Like their defensive line, I think, is nasty. Nasty. Not Dex. Quinnen, Kenny Clark, Ezeraku. They got guys. They added Malachi Lawrence from UCF, who I think can be an 8.5, 9 sack guy, maybe even defensive player of the year. Talks he was incredibly productive at UCF. Elite pass rush moves, great bull rush, great edge setter in the run game as well. And defensively, year 2, Savon Ravel. Savon Ravel was a guy. If you've listened to this podcast for over a year now, you know how bullish I was on this guy coming out of ECU. Just an athletic freak. I think I had him as my CB2, CB3, maybe, in last year's draft. He is a dog if he can play to his potential. The Ron Bland, they got the 2 Jalen's in the back end. I think this defense is going to be better than it was last year. And then offensively, they might have the best offense in the NFL. I mean, their offensive line is replaced. They replaced everybody. Jerry Jones is the best offensive line drafted besides maybe Howie Roseman in the NFL. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Their receiving core is a top 2 receiving core in the league. It's tough, bro. CD and George Pickens or Jamar and T. Higgins is just such a tough thing to assess. I feel like you can make an argument for both. T. Higgins can't stay on the field for a full season. And that's the main argument against Cincinnati. Because I think T. Higgins is probably as good as George Pickens from a pure talent standpoint. Although a slight lean Pickens because what he was doing after the catch this year was better than anything T. Higgins has ever done after the catch. And both of them are probably top 3, top 4 at the catch point in the NFL. But then Jamar is obviously better than CD. So it's like, it's really close. You're splitting hairs. Both are top 2. Like, you can't dispute that. I'd lean Dallas. T. Higgins is just not as available as George Pickens has been throughout his career. So I would lean Dallas as the best receiving duo in the league, top 7, 8 quarterback, top 3, 4 offensive line. That offense is going to be a real problem the same way it was last year. But either way, Dak and Herbert, I think, are very, very even and very, very similar. And 6A, 6B. My next hot take for Hot Take Tuesday is the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, the Brooklyn Nets will have one of the best backcourts in the NBA in the next 5 years. I'll say top 3. Michael Brown Jr., Yegor Demin. The Yegor Demin year 2 jump is alive and well. I know it's just 2 summer league games, but you can see his confidence growing. You can see his ability to drive to the rim growing tremendously. And you might look at his name, you might look at his Spock score from last year. 39% field goal percentage is not going to cut it. 39% from three. That's what we love to see out of our 6'8" two guard. 6'8" two guard. He's passing the ball way better in year two so far. Anyway, in two summer league games, he averaged 23 points per game. Back-to-back summer league games, he's handling the ball with way more confidence. He's attacking the glass with way more confidence. He just looks like a way more confident, complete player. He's only 20 years old. And then Michael Brown Jr. in 19 minutes of summer league action, 10 points, 4 assists, had the highlight of summer league so far. Spin move around in corner, Tyler Bilodeau, boom, 3. Tyler Bilodeau, dog. Joshua Jefferson, dog. Both of them are the best players on their team in college a year ago. Iowa State was a 2 seed. UCLA was a frisky 8 seed that played in a Big Ten championship or a Big Ten semifinal before Tyler Bilodeau got hurt. They also beat Purdue. They were toe to toe with Purdue until Bilodeau got hurt. Didn't beat Purdue. They lost in the Big Ten semifinal. So Bilodeau, stretch 4. Joshua Jefferson, good low post score. Danny Wolf, stretch 5. It's clear what the Nets are trying to do. They're going to space the floor. Everybody can shoot, and they're going to pass the fuck out of the rock. Swing, drive, kick, pump, drive, kick. Danny Wolf 3 in your fucking face. Who Michael Brown can pull up from 35. Yegor Domin can pull up from 30. He's also a more athletic, I would argue, better shooter, Denny Avila, but Denny Avila is obviously a better driver early on than Yegor Domin is. But the way Yegor Domin's been getting to the cup in summer league, if he can keep developing that and bring that to the NBA, to the Nets in the regular season, the Nets could be a really frisky playing team. I think the Nets could be a really, really frisky playing team. Michael Brown Jr., Yegor Domin year 2, if he takes a little bit of a step. Julius Randle as a number 1 scoring option. Michael Porter Jr. as a number 2 scoring option. And then Danny Wolf. I'll also tell you, that's a lot of fucking size. The Nets have a lot of size. If it's Daron Sharp, but they just handed a 2-year contract to play the 5. The Nets have a lot of size. Michael Brown's like 6'5" point guard. That's good. Yegor Domin, 6'8" shooting guard. Julius Randle, Michael Porter Jr., size. Danny Wolf, Nolan Triole, Ben Suraf off the bench, even Drake Powell, if he can take a step and be a good athletic 3-and-D athletic wing. Like, they got fucking guys, man. Not to mention they still have a good amount of draft capital, bro. But I think Yegor Domin and Michael Brown Jr. has a chance to be a top 5 backcourt in the NBA in a few years. I really do believe that in my heart. What else is going on? Oh, we can talk about Donald Trump just absolutely bulldozing the FIFA commission. And I'll tell you this right now. Balogun, did he deserve to play? Absolutely, 100,000,000%, probably not. There's definitely a lot of corruption in FIFA. Breaking news. I'll also tell you this. Nah, I can't say that. I'm not going to say that. I will say I'm happy Trump's on our side. I'm happy Trump's on our side. I really will. Imagine how annoying that must be to be living in a country and every foreign policy against Donald Trump is like, oh, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want. That's got to be the most annoying thing in the world. Oh, this player's got a red card. He can't play? Nah. Hey, FIFA president, yeah, let our striker fucking play. And the fact that Belgium was crying about it like a bunch of pussies. Dude, you fool-won us. You shouldn't be worried about our starting striker playing if you're a top 10 FIFA ranked country. They own us. Belgium owns us. So although Trump definitely not moral, definitely not ethical, definitely an abuse of power. But, I mean, abuse of powers happen all the time and we just let it happen. We just get walked over. That's just the world we live in. I'm just happy the abuse of power is coming from the country that I live in. It'd be very annoying. I would be fucking annoyed if I was a Belgian citizen. I would have been a little bit annoyed. I also would have been like, we're going to take care of business anyway. But now it's a little bit harder. I would have been annoyed. But I'm not a Belgian citizen. Balogun played. Didn't make much of an impact, but Balogun played. He made a little bit. There was one ball from Tyler Adams that Balogun could have put back across. He miscontrolled it. He had a one-on-one opportunity, and they forced a good save by Courtois. Like, he made an impact, but it's not like he cost us the game. Definitely improves our chances of winning with him on the field and without him, obviously. But anyway, that'll do it for today's episode that I recorded at 12 o'clock on the Tuesday. We're not locked in here, but we will lock in. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode of the Fire Sports Takes podcast.